What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Saints. We are lying here all for the first time. You and I. Show me what you do for me. And then we'll try to hide your nature. This song don't have nothing to do with what we're gonna talk about today, but I don't know. It just felt good. What's up, y'all? We back. My book of favorite quotes, 30-day transformation to becoming a better you. It's more like 30 weeks at this point because we doing one quote a week. And for most people, it usually takes some time to process, digest, understand, apply, get some results, come back for another one. As always, we are spreading love the Brooklyn way. That's Arabic for love, by the way. So, a little positive wear, you know what I mean? Just trying to be of service to people, that's all. We are up to number 19, man. We cruising along. Number 19, quote number 19 from my book of favorite quotes, A 30-Day Transformation to Becoming a Better You. Number 19. You can't let the opinions of others blind you from your truth. What you think of yourself is more important than what they think of you. Okay, that's number 19. You can't let the opinions of others blind you from your truth. What you think of yourself is more important than what they think of you. And I got that from feelmylove.org. So let's read. Why is it that we care so much about what others think and so little about what we think about ourselves? My perspective is we were improperly trained to think that our value comes from outside of us, or that external conditions like cars, jewelry, and clothes determine our worth. The accomplishments you achieve or don't achieve give us worth. That people's opinions of us based on things we do or behaviors we exhibit determine how we feel about ourselves. I fell victim to this for many years. Initially, as a child, I wanted attention from my parents and siblings, gaining praise from a job well done and scolded for coming up short. So as a child, it's logical to deduce that praise feels better than being admonished. So I worked hard in school to win praise from my parents and my teachers. The same was true in sports from coaches, and as I got older, from relationships with friends or girlfriends. That became a pattern of determining my self-worth through external conditions. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure along the way, I heard someone say to me, no matter what happens, you have value. But it wasn't what was said that mattered. It was what was demonstrated. All through school, sports, and relationships, that was my norm. Rising or falling was based on the opinions and perceptions of someone or something else other than my own. Wanting to be liked, wanting to be accepted, wanting to feel loved, all fall under the same category of allowing outside of influences to determine my worth. So the light bulb moment came for me when I acquired or accomplished those things and I still didn't feel whole. I'm sure I can liken it to getting a high off a drug. It's a great feeling initially, but once it wanes, you are constantly searching for that high. I realized that my worth was tied into people and things making me feel good. If they didn't give me that feeling, I felt bad. I felt like a rat on a wheel running in place and not getting anywhere. So I stopped, took a look at how I came to be in this space. The journey took me back to my beginnings and when the initial seed was planted. I had a heartfelt conversation with my mom only because by that point my dad had passed away. She explained to me that they were only doing what they knew to be best because it had been passed down to them from their parents and their life experiences. I accepted that. I accepted my parents weren't intentionally trying to screw me up, that teachers, coaches, and friends were only doing what they knew best, what they knew to be best as well. I accepted my responsibility for my portion of it as well because, like them, I was only doing my best. I made a decision in that moment to redefine my terms of what I thought my value was, but this time not to other people and to things, but to myself. I would give myself a new truth. So I sat down and took out a piece of paper and titled it, "What is my value to me?" And I began to write out all of the attributes that I deemed worthy to be honest, loving, reliable, dependable, respectful, gracious, compassionate, and the list went on. I looked at people I admired and wrote down the characteristics I wanted to emulate. Most importantly, nothing on the list was outside of me. It was all things that I could control. I decided that in spite of external conditions, I would choose how to feel and how to be at all times. No longer would the world tell me how to feel. I would tell the world how I was going to feel. If someone or something attempted to treat me less than what I thought of myself, I no longer gave it attention. I didn't try to change the condition or prove my worth anymore. If the person or thing couldn't or wouldn't treat me the way I saw myself, it was on them. No compromise will be made. It was a muscle that I enjoyed developing, and sure enough, the world became a reflection of what I thought of myself. Did negative people or situations cease to exist? No, but my attention to them did. I encourage you to take a long, hard look at what determines your value. Don't judge yourself. We just want to get to whatever your truth is. If you are okay with it, keep it. If you are not and find yourself looking outside of you for your value, maybe it's time to rethink it and give yourself a new truth that comes from within. Okay? That's number 19. You can't let the opinions of others blind you from your truth. What you think of yourself is more important than what they think of you. Let's reflect a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, you know, one thing I want to communicate is something I learned a long time ago, is that, like, the stuff that we're talking about, like, problems aren't new. Like, there are no new problems, in my opinion. Like, this planet has been here for God knows how long. And people have been here for thousands of years. To think that whatever I'm dealing with, no one in the history of mankind has ever dealt with before is ridiculous. Right? So somebody has had relationship problems before, work problems before, family problems before, substance abuse problems before, like disease. It's been going on since the beginning of time, since human beings have been on this planet. So to think that I'm alone, or I should feel ashamed or feel guilt about going through whatever I'm going through, is ridiculous, because I wasn't the first person and I won't be the last person to deal with these things. But the cool thing about it is, because somebody's dealt with it, somebody has discovered a solution. So somebody has written a book, somebody is recorded a video, recorded some audio, you know, did a workshop, a seminar. Like, the answers are available to all of us if we just seek. Seek and ye shall find. Okay? So in talking about worrying about what other people think about us, and, you know, I'm not even trying to say, like, it's unimportant what people think, but it shouldn't have any determination on what you think about yourself. So for many years, you know, while I know I'm not the only one, I fell prey. I fell victim to worrying about what other people thought about me, trying to please people, trying to be liked, you know. And looking back, it didn't really accomplish a whole lot. You know, I know I dimmed my light in a lot of situations to try to make people feel better because I cared what they thought about me. You know, as a child, I was considered, you know, advanced, smart, you know, in school. Graduated high school when I was 16 years old. And I could have graduated when I was 14, but my dad felt like that was too much. So when I went to public school at Crozier and Inglewood, and I knew way more than those kids and they were older than me too. So the first couple of days in school, I would answer questions because nobody knew the answer. But these were things that I had learned when I was like 7, 8 years old, and I was 12 at the time. And they were like 14, 15 years old and didn't know the answer. So I felt weird that they were starting to look at me like I was a know-it-all. And, oh, he think he's so smart. And I'm the new kid and I'm trying to fit in. And so I would not answer questions because I didn't want to come off like the know-it-all. Sports, wanting to be liked by your coaches, trying to make the team. And if you get cut from the team, nobody explains to you that you still have value outside of making the team. Like you get cut from the team and it's just like you wasn't good enough or you need to get better or, it's like nobody really understands that there is an explanation that needs to be communicated to the kids so they don't walk off feeling less than a human being because they didn't accomplish whatever that was. Relationships with, I'm sure it happens on both ends of the ledger, men and women, but, speaking, as a guy, trying to have and acquire the things that society mandated that men should have in order to be appealing to women. So, certain levels of money, certain kinds of cars, jewelry, clothes, what kind of house you in, the people that you hang out with, where you hang out, the restaurants you eat at, the kind of sneakers you got. Like it's never ending. And, I was right up in the mix, trying to acquire. And because I realized something else, I was carrying around a poverty mentality. The things that I was able to accomplish, it was never enough. It was never enough because there was always somebody who was doing it bigger and better. So I never could really appreciate and feel good about what I was doing because I was always comparing myself to somebody else. And they say comparison is the thief of joy. So poverty consciousness, low self-esteem, not understanding my self-worth, that's a recipe for disaster. So I'm living and dying on this emotional roller coaster because I don't understand that I have value outside of those things. So then, I could argue I was able to accumulate some things. I bought a house, was driving a Range Rover, some money in the bank, booking jobs, doing some real estate investing, like just, had my hand in everything. But it wasn't enough. I never felt like grateful. I never felt worthy because, like I said, I was still comparing myself to other people and the relationships that I was involved in. And you know what I mean? Like it wasn't a good thing. So ultimately, based on universal law, if my vibration is in nothingness or in the dark, lack and scarcity and not enough and ungrateful, at some point you're going to lose because the sum total of things in the dark or in nothingness have to equal nothing at some point. So it's like trying to hold water in your hands, and you got to constantly keep pouring water in to even hold anything because otherwise it would just drain out your fingers. So it's like a spaghetti sieve. You put the pasta in the strainer and it just drains all the water out. So that's how I was living. So once physical and mental fatigue stepped in, it was bound to go to zero, right? And that feeling didn't feel good because it's like, I know I have worth outside of this, but where does it come from? And, a lady that I enjoy listening to, Byron Katie, wrote a book called Loving What Is. That really helped me. And she asked a question, whatever the subject is. So it's like, I don't have value outside of material things or external things. And she would go, do you know that to be true? When the truth is, no, I don't, but that's the belief that I've been carrying. So it's like, hey, if that's not true, then what is the truth? There are many people, and everybody has value outside of material things. That's a better feeling thought. Like, okay, so let me figure out my value. Who do I want to be? Because we know the value of material things. If I was driving around in a Bentley coupe and somebody tried to come up and kick my door, I'd choke them. Because it's like, hey, man, don't you know what this car is worth? And it's $200,000. But metaphorically, we let people in situations kick us all the time. We let people talk to us any kind of way, treat us any kind of way. And so to me, metaphorically, that's like kicking you, kicking a Bentley. You would never let somebody, spit on your clothes or damage your watch, but we take abuse. And a lot of times we do it because that's how we treat ourselves. So people can only treat you the way you treat yourselves. And that was something that I had to accept. So I'm like, okay, who do I want to be? Well, let me make a list. Like, I want to be more vulnerable, more honest, more communicative, like more trustworthy, more dependable, more reliable, like all of these qualities. And I'm like, just write them all down. And then I looked and go, okay, how many of these do I actually practice that are in me right now? And, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, 5s and 6s and 2s and 7, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so that's what my work is. I have to become the things that I'm saying I want to see. I have to value myself more, and then other people and situations and circumstances will. And just like being in the ocean, right? You're going to come across sharks sometimes. So will negative situations magically disappear? No, they'll present themselves, but it's our attention to them that gives any situation life, be it positive or negative. So the universe is all inclusive. Like there's no exclusion in the universe. So in order to have peace, war got to be there too. But where we make our mistake is we focus on war as opposed to focusing on peace. Identify what you don't want and then focus on what you do want. So when that negativity or whatever obstacle that shows up, decide if you want to give it some attention, because if you do, it's going to give it life. If you turn your attention away from it, it will dissipate. It will cease to exist. Okay? So that's number 19, man. And also, Jim Carrey has a great video. It's a commencement speech at a graduation where he talks about his one wish for people is that they get everything that they ever wanted in life so they can see it's not everything they ever wanted in life. And that really resonated with me. So, and it doesn't mean that you can't or you shouldn't go accomplish things. Accomplishment is sexy. Like that's why we marvel at people that accomplish things, but it doesn't make you more valuable because you do. And it doesn't make you less valuable because you don't. It's just something to do because that's why we're here in life, to experience this physical reality. So it's like playing a game. If we won the game all the time, you wouldn't want to play because it'd be boring. So it's like we play games for the challenge of winning and losing. So the accomplishment is like the challenge of doing it, but it doesn't define you. It doesn't make you more of a human being because you've accomplished all of this stuff. You're winning just by being here on this planet. You have value. You matter just by being here, breathing, living, as a friend, as a son, as a daughter, as a mate, as somebody who can just walk down the street and come up on a stranger and give them a smile and brighten up their day. You have value outside of those things. But hey, by all means, I like to accomplish stuff. Like I said, accomplishment is attractive to me, but it's more based in the challenge of it, not necessarily, well, that person is more valuable because they've accomplished things and this person chose to be, a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad and raising kids, so they're less valuable because they didn't really accomplish nothing. Like, that's BS to me. Everybody's equally important. Everybody's equally valuable. And, your self-worth and your value should be defined by you. And hopefully, you had some good parents that implemented that kind of stuff. And I'm not sitting here saying my parents didn't do an A1 job. But sometimes we don't know when we think we're doing the best that even, the results might not be what you anticipated. So a family member, a friend can accidentally put poison in your coffee. It doesn't necessarily have to be your enemy. Your enemy sometimes can give you great advice. So it's really just having the discernment and to sift through the information, and as an adult, just take responsibility for who we are and what we want to become, and stop blaming the past and stop caring about what other people think about you. Care more about what you think. All right, this your boy, Brooklyn Mclinn. My book of favorite quotes, A 30-Day Transformation to Becoming a Better You. We spread love the Brooklyn way. And also, last thing, I will be conducting and teaching a universal law workshop. There's 7 natural laws of the universe. We're going to do one a week. And that will be in the Los Angeles area in Van Nuys, California. All right. Y'all have a great week. Peace.